A spanking new administrative building for the Upper Corentyne Fishermen's Co-op Society is now open for business, compliments of the PPPC government through the Ministry of Agriculture. The new building replaces a dilapidated structure that previously served the co-op. Members of the co-op had requested the help of Vice President Dr. Barrett Jagdeo in rehabilitating the structure, but he instead opted to construct a new facility. The new building was commissioned on Saturday by Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa, who told the gathering that the structure represents another commitment made by government that has been fulfilled and highlights government's recognition of the important role being played by the nation's fisherfolk.
That tells us when our government, your party make a commitment, we always deliver on those commitments. We are here, reality today. We are now commissioning a building that was promised by the Vice President a year ago. We are now commissioning it. So, whilst there might be issue in the fishing industry, and we know there are a number of issues. When you look at the expenditure now in the fishing sector, it has increased tremendously. We are now rehabilitating and modernizing almost all the landing sites and wharf around the country. We are working, I was making the point, we had two other meetings with fisher folks on the Corentyne, one at Chitanka and one at Albion just now. And I was telling them that almost all the landing sites and wharfs, we are trying to rehabilitate it, make it more friendly for the fisher folks to ply their trade. Because we know for a fact that this work calls for a lot of commitment and dedication. People leave their homes, leave their family, go out, face the element, the rain, the sun, the rough sea, and it is also piracy, to earn a living, to come back here and bring, as our sister said, the cheapest form of proteins to the Guyanese people. And we must appreciate what they are doing. And as a government, we know that they have been risking their life to ply their trade. That is why we will continue to support this important industry, the fishing industry. The fishing industry has been making valuable contribution to Guyana's GDP, to our country's economy. I was making the point just now that almost 18,000 persons directly involved and they are earning their livelihood from the fishing industry. So we cannot allow this industry to decline. Although we would have had lower catches, we are working with the fisher folk. That is why we have worked with the FAO to conduct a study why we are having low catches. But this year, the issue plaguing this part of the region is licenses for fisher folks plying their trade in the Corentyne River and in the water of the Suriname. We have had discussion at the highest level, and commitments were made. No less a person than the president himself in Suriname, that 150 licenses will be issued to the fisher folks in Guyana. We went so far that email messages were exchanged between the Minister of Agriculture and myself, how we'll go about getting these licenses for our fisher folks. But of course, after 4 years, we are still waiting to get that license. They have reneged on their commitment they have made to us. But we are still pursuing that. At every forum that we have, our president and our government is pursuing that our fisher folks must enjoy this facility of getting licensed so that they can fish freely over there.
While the building has been rebuilt and furnished, government has committed to going even further in enhancing the facilities at that location.
We have expanded with the shed at number, where the shed is, number 75, 43, and we built some other shed in conjunction with this building. There are some other works that we'll do in the coming weeks. I have made commitment to the fisher folks here that we'll do the tarmac very shortly. We'll see this tarmac done here. We'll concrete the entire land here. A gas station will build here so that fisher folks can purchase their gas right here. They will put in a hardware store here so that our sister was saying that she used to buy her input here. That will happen once again so that the fisher folks can come here and purchase their seine, lead, rope, what you call it, the fisher input. And we'll work very closely with this committee here to enhance this place. So at the end of it all, you'll have a brand new building, you'll have tarmac, you'll have a functioning office with a functioning hardware store to serve the fisher folks in this part of the region. And this has been the trend. Because when you look at major fishing and landing sites, Meadowbank Wharf in Georgetown, we have transformed that. We are working with the fisher folks in almost all the East Coast villages. Places like Manripo, Unity, Ogle, all those areas we have enhanced the landing sites and wharf in those areas. Right now, we are working with the fisher folks in Manripo to build a place where they can have their boat come up a ramp to repair. We have rebuilt the wharf at the Edwards, the three-door wharf there at the Edwards. We have rebuilt the one at Rosignol where the old Stelling was. And right across places like Essecubo, Region 3, we have enhanced. We recognize the importance of fisher folks and the fishing industry in our country. That is why we will continue to expand and ensure that we make budgetary allocation available to this important sector.
Speaking earlier in the program, Fisheries Officer Mr. Michael Amsterdam spoke of the expanding role of the Fisheries Department in ensuring that fisherfolk operate in a safe and progressive environment, both on land and at sea.
This building also is a direct reflection of government's commitment to improving the livelihoods of our fisherfolk. It also represents a broader part of a national agenda that is to ensure that all coastal fishing communities, like number 79 Village, thrive in this rapidly and competitively evolving sector. The entire Corentyne coast, and in particular number 79 Village, has a rich history of fishing. And today, it still remains one of the critical areas for fishermen who operate along the Corentyne. In particular, for the landing of catches, repairing fishing vessels, and of course, the supply of fresh fish to markets not only in this region, but also in Georgetown and the other regions. In order to ensure that these activities not only continue, but expand, the Fisheries Department aims to improve and increase the number of training opportunities that are currently offered in this region. We also aim to increase the number of landing site inspections and vessel inspections, with the aim of ensuring that all fishing activities that are carried out at sea are done in a safe manner. The expansion of data collection activities will ensure that we can adequately record the fish production, because as the regional chairman would have mentioned earlier, there are persons that are saying that catches are low. However, I think the collection of data is important so that we can ascertain what exactly the level is. Moreover, in order to ensure your safety at sea and the safety of your loved ones, we have already installed over 50 remote tracking devices on board fishing vessels. And this was done at the various landing sites across the Corentyne. And I have no doubt that the vessels that will operate in this area will also receive those tracking devices. The importance of these tracking devices is to ensure that the department has a view of your vessels while you operate at sea. So in the event of any emergency, the Fisheries Department would be able to send information or send some form of assistance. Moreover, the Fisheries Department is aiming to install or have established a real-time radio communication system. This will allow the Fisheries Department, the Marine Police, and the Guyana Defence Force Coast Guard to respond to any challenges that you may face while at sea. In conclusion, the Upper Corentyne Fisherman Cooperative Society Administrative Building, it is really expected to serve as a hub for all of these activities that I mentioned earlier. It is intended to be a place where fisherfolk can access important services from the Fisheries Department. It must be seen as more than just a building. It is also a sign of the continued progress that has been made by the government in ensuring that you, our fisherfolk, have access to multiple resources and the most modern facilities.
After the formal proceedings, Minister Mustafa and executives of the Upper Corentyne Fishermen's Co-op Society cut the ceremonial ribbon and unveiled the commemorative plaque to mark the occasion. The building will serve as a hub for various activities as well as a space for some 200 fisherfolk who can access important services and benefits from the new facility.